what happens to the human brain when it encounters empathy? I had experience years ago that really got me thinking about this critical question. And I remember the day like it was yesterday. It was a cold, windy, snowy day in Dallas, Texas. Now, what do the mountain folks of Colorado, where I grew up, say when it snows in December? Snowing. Now, if they're real talkative, they'll say, need the moisture, which we always do, right? Now, in Dallas, Texas, if it snows any time of the year, what do the folks say down there? What the heck is that? We're fixing to have they're always fixing to have something, right? Fixing to have a major emergency. Shut the state down. Oh, it's chaos. Well, I'm doing a presentation to about 500 educators, and I'm looking out that window, and I'm seeing them big snowflakes, and I'm saying to myself, how am I going to get back to DFW, the airport? Because I don't even trust them cab drivers when it's dry. And since I grew up in a small town, I'm kind of a trusting type of person, and I just asked the audience. I said, is anybody going by the airport on their way home that would mind just dropping me off there? And boy, your hands shot up so fast. Boom! I'll get you there. I'm from Philly. Talked so much faster than everybody else, and I got in her car. I remember that car. It was a red Mitsubishi 3000 sports car, and I was a shell of a man by the time I got to the airport. I was tired, I was frustrated, and now I'm standing in a line. Bad news is filtering back through that line. Flight's canceled. Ran out of de-icer fluid. Only had a gallon to start with. Earl and Bubba drank that in June. Now, am I thinking about the love and logic skills I'm going to use? No, man. I'm starting to have fantasies about how I'm really going to let her have it, you know. You ever have days like that, you know, where you say to yourself, got a lot of skills, but today, ain't going to use them. Mop up the damage tomorrow. So I get up on her, and I'm just ready for her. I've got it all rehearsed in my head, and I point my finger at her. Man, I'm about ready to deliver my thing, and then I'm distracted by what's happening over here. See, there's another ticket agent over here, and another line. Oh, and all I hear is this. Well, sir, we cannot control the weather. Now, are you guessing that brought the best out of this guy? Oh, now he rears up. Oh, we'll see your manager. Sir, our manager's not here because of the weather. Well, if I gotta stay here in Dallas, you're gonna pay for my hotel room. Sir, we do not pay for hotel rooms when it is weather related. You know, I kind of stepped back from that, and I know it sounds strange, but I thought to myself, brains. Yeah. See, it kind of reminded me of some research I'd helped do down at the psychology lab down there at the University of South Carolina, home of the fighting Gamecocks. Thought that was illegal till I got down there. But we studied brains, and what we started to discover was that brains are complicated, but they're really pretty simple. That there are essentially just 2 or 3 parts of the human brain. There's the frontal cortex. And what does the frontal cortex do? Thinking, reasoning, morals, values, factual information. Things like how to divide fractions and when the War of 1812 was. Stuff like that. Now then there's that brainstem and limbic system, and that's all about fight or flight, survival. And then there's this little thing called an amygdala, and a lot of people think that's the switching mechanism, so that when we get threatened or we're fearful or anxious, what does that thing do? Shuts down the frontal cortex, fires up that limbic system. And I'm thinking to myself, there in Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, I'm looking over there and I'm thinking to myself, look at that. 2 brain stems trying to solve a problem. Now that's going to be interesting. My second thought was, looks like fun. I'm going for that. So I pointed my finger at that woman. I said, I got to get home. She was nasty. I wouldn't believe this woman. Little southern lady back there with bows in her hair. You know what she said? Oh, she turned on me. She looked at me and she said, Oh, bless your heart. I remember thinking to myself, dang, she's nice. I want to switch lines. And then she did the thing that all perky people do. I bet you got a perky teacher on your staff that does this. You know the kind. They always got a sweater with an apple or school bus on it. Well, you know the kind. And then she did that little thing that she did, you know, and then she started typing. And when she was typing, she'd say things like, oh no, don't that beat all. Hold on. Well, the weather isn't all that bad. And I bet you got kin at home you're dying to get back to. I'm going to help you. Hold on. Now that I look back at that, I don't think she ever had a keyboard back there. And you know, I got the same thing that this guy got. I had to stay in Dallas, Texas, and I got to pay for my own hotel room because it was weather-related. There was only one difference. As I walked away from that counter, what came out of my mouth? Thank you. There's only one word for that. Nauseating. And how did she take the fight right out of me? Empathy. How do we take the fight or the flight out of our students? Empathy. How do we create schools where students spend more time thinking and learning than avoiding and resisting? Empathy. You got it.